Hello and welcome to Carlos Castaneda, The Wheel of Time, the wisdom of the shamans or sorcerers of ancient Mexico. These quotes that I'm going to be interpreting are from the second book in the series, A Separate Reality. A warrior knows that he is only a man. His only regret is that his life is so short that he can't grab onto all the things he would like to. But for him, this is not an issue, only a pity. So a warrior realizes that life is going to end very soon. That death will take him. It could be 20, 30 years from now. It could be a year, a month from now. It could be a week from now. It could be today. So a warrior focuses on today, this day only, this moment, knowing that death is stalking him at every juncture. Now that's a true way to live, because if we are going to die altogether and completely, why not live altogether and completely? So life can be as short as this moment because we do not know when our last breath is going to be. We don't know anything for sure. We don't even know that the sun is going to rise in the east tomorrow. We only know these things through memory because we've seen them before, because of things that happened yesterday. But today is a warrior's only concern, because today is all he or she has. So life is so short that I cannot do all the things that I would like to. There's so many things that I would like to do. So many places that I would like to see, and I'm not going to be able to see them all. I'm not going to be able to do all the things that I want to do. But I don't have to make an issue out of this and waste energy about it. It's just one of these things. It's just a fact of life. It's only a pity. Feeling important makes one heavy, clumsy, and vain. To be a warrior, one needs to be light and fluid. Because it's our importance, our personal importance, our limited self-identity that keeps us imprisoned in the world of the tonal, the realm of the ego. Most of our energy is consumed upholding our self-importance. And if we were capable of losing some of that importance, then we would witness the actual grandeur of the universe itself and our connection to all and everything in it. To do that, one needs to become light and fluid, abstracted, not heavy, cumbersome, and full of vanity. You know, the way we're taught to be in modern society, to be important, to be the big shot, you know. However big you conceive yourself to be, you're nothing compared to the universe, compared to even the world itself. That is your real identity. The universe at large. Not this limited self-being, not this ego, this body, this mind. When they are seen as fields of energy, human beings appear to be like fibres of light, like white cobwebs, very fine threads that circulate from the head to the toes. Thus, to the eye of a seer, a man looks like an egg of circulating fibres, and his arms and legs are like luminous bristles, bursting out in all directions. So when a warrior man learns to see, learns to perceive energy as it flows freely in the universe, he sees that all men are actually luminous eggs with filaments of energy bristling out in all directions. Trillions of them extending out to the universe at large, but yet encased within a cocoon, which is the person's real self, what we might call the soul, the energy body, the luminous egg, the cocoon. So, we're not just this flesh body, we're energy beings. We're not merely mechanical or machines. We're much greater than that, we're bubbles of energy. Luminous beings. As Yoda the Jedi Master says in Star Wars to Luke Skywalker when he was training him, luminous beings are we, not this crude matter. The seer sees that every man is in touch with everything else, not through his hands, but through a bunch of long fibres that shoot out in all directions from the centre of his abdomen. Those fibres join a man to his surroundings. They keep his balance. They give him stability. Don Juan talks about the will being not something to do with mind intent, but to do, again, with the way sorcerers see everything in terms of energy. How much energy do you have? How much will do you have? Well, it comes from the abdomen, from the energy centre. What Taoists call the Dantian, our storehouse of energy, which is 1.5 inches below the navel. It's in the belly, the will. So, how much energy that you have stored is how much will you can project. So those fibres, the will, join a man to his surroundings. They join, in other words, they conjoin the luminous cocoon, the luminous egg, with the energy of the universe at large. The joining happens through the abdomen. That's where a man is truly connected to the world around him. In fact, all beings, all human beings rather, are connected in this way, whether they are aware of it or not. If they're not aware of it, then they won't be able to use it. But if they are aware of it, then, who knows what capabilities might be in store for us. When a warrior learns to see, he sees that a man is a luminous egg, whether he's a beggar or a king, and that there's no way to change anything, or rather, what could be changed in that luminous egg? What? So, your social status, what you do for a living, your title, your position, your prestige, has no bearing on anything in the world of energy. All that matters is that you're a luminous egg and how much energy you have stored in that luminous egg. And what you can do with that energy. That's power. The rest is just trivial, unimportant things. Because whether you're a king, an emperor, a prince, a queen, if you've got no energy, then what does it matter what your title is? All that matters is what you do in relation to your energy body, the luminous egg, the cocoon, how you cultivate it, how you use it. See? So what could be changed in the luminous egg? Never mind anything else. What you do with your energy is all important. A warrior never worries about his fear. Instead, he thinks about the wonders of seeing the flow of energy. The rest is frills. Unimportant frills. So, it was just like I was saying before, and I've been reading this stuff for nearly 20 years, so sometimes I know what's going to come next out of Don Juan's mouth. But you see, we're so concerned with material matters and the acquisition of things and wasting our energies on unimportant concerns and superficial entertainments and all of the rest of it, that we forget the most fundamental and important matter: energy. How much energy do you have? Do you see the flow of energy as it flows freely in the universe? That's all that matters. Only a crackpot would undertake the task of becoming a man of knowledge of his own accord. A sober-headed man has to be tricked into doing it. There are scores of people who would gladly undertake the task, but those don't count. They are usually cracked. They are like gourds that look fine from the outside, and yet they would leak the minute you put pressure on them, the minute you fill them with water. So when you fill the average man who seeks knowledge with knowledge, he cracks. He can't handle it. It spills over. Because there are holes in the gourd, in the energy body. You need a sober-headed man to cultivate a worthy vessel for that knowledge, so that it can contain that knowledge, so that the energy doesn't leak out, so that the knowledge doesn't spill forth. See? So, only crackpots would volunteer for the warrior's path, because real knowledge is a struggle for awareness, and most people just aren't prepared to put in that amount of effort that is required for this intense struggle for awareness, for energy. So, those that do volunteer, they're usually crazy, cracked. There are plenty of people like that want to follow the teachings, but they don't necessarily know what they're letting themselves in for. And if they have to go crazy and crack themselves up along the way, people do that and they put themselves back together again. Okay, that's fine. You can do that, as long as your intent is sincere. So the last one for today. The shamans of ancient Mexico gave the name allies to inexplicable forces that acted upon them. They called them allies because they thought they could use them to their heart's content, a notion that proved nearly fatal to those shamans, because what they called an ally is a being without corporeal essence that exists in the universe. Modern day shamans call them inorganic beings. To ask what function the allies have is like asking what we men do in the world. We are here, that's all. And the Allies are here, like us. And maybe they were here before us. So, those mysterious forces that the old sorcerers encountered on their sorceric journeys, the inorganic beings that Don Juan talks about in the fire from within and in a separate reality, they belong to another order of sentient beings. They don't have sentience in the way that we human beings have, or our organic being has. They have a different kind of awareness because they belong in a different dimension, which has a different time frame, has a different mode of awareness. It's rather difficult to explain in words, but these beings do exist, and sorcerers have encountered and communicated and used those beings, and vice versa. The inorganic beings, the Allies, have also used sorcerers, and they've exchanged energy and powers and knowledge and things like that. It does happen, you know. Modern man is of course not aware of, concerned about these matters, but the old sorcerers were concerned with power and domination and control, and they became rather obsessed with these inorganic beings, which the new seers sought to avoid the mistakes that the old sorcerers had with these beings, because ultimately it was their downfall, you know, and I'll go a bit more into that in future videos, but that's all for today. Thanks again for listening. Goodbye for now.